Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of tutorial 4. I will be explaining question 3 and question 4. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So question 3 reads as follows. Explain what the real interest rate is relevant for in spending decisions and on what it depends. So firstly, we need to understand what the real interest rate is and what it works around. So the real interest rate is the interest rate that has been adjusted to remove the effects of inflation to reflect the real cost of funds to the borrower and the real yield to the lender or to an investor. So what we're essentially saying is that the real interest rate doesn't take inflation into account. How we would calculate the interest rate is the interest rate would be equal to the nominal interest rate minus the inflation rate. And how we would answer this question then would be in this way. We would say the real interest rate is an interest rate that has been adjusted to remove the effects of inflation. It is relevant for spending decisions as it reflects the change in purchasing power derived from an investment or given up by the borrower. This means that it shows the degree to which an individual prefers the current good over future goods. It depends on the basket of goods. Remember again, the real interest rate has been adjusted to remove the effects of inflation. And hence, this is how it affects the spending decisions. And this is how you would answer question 3. Moving on to question 4. Use the ISLM, using the extended ISLM, explain and show graphically the following events. Number 1, an increase in the risk premium. Right? So we first need to understand what is a risk premium. So a risk premium is an investment return an asset is expected to yield in excess of the risk-free rate of return. So how would this graphically affect the economy? Right? So we then say, we then first have to figure out what parts of the graph it affects. It firstly affects the IS curve and it affects the level of output. So how we would then answer this question after analyzing the graph, after drawing and analyzing the graph, we would then see that there is a shift, there is a downward shift, a shift to the left with the IS curve, and also there is a decrease in the level of output from Y1 to Y2. How we would then answer this question after graphically representing how we would then explain it is when a risk premium increases, the IS curve shifts to the left and the level of output decreases from Y1, from Y to Y1, as seen in the graph above. So remember, the only effect the increase in risk premium has is on the IS curve and the level of output, right? So moving on to the second question, we need to represent graphically how a decrease in the real interest rates would affect the economy. So we need to also look at which factors it affects. So firstly, the decrease in the real interest rates would affect the LM, the LM curve, this horizontal line right here, and it will also affect the level of output we're going to have. So what happens is when there's a decrease in the interest rates, it will decrease from R1 to R2, meaning our LM curve will also shift from LM to LM1. Our level of output will then shift from Y to Y1. That means it will increase, meaning that people have more money to purchase goods or have more buying power, purchasing power, and will then purchase more goods, that hence the increase in the output. So what the interest rate, the decrease in the interest rates essentially means, firstly, is that people are going to be able to borrow more, consumption expenditure is going to increase, people will purchase more, and they will have more purchasing power. So then how we would answer this question is, when the real interest rate decreases, the LM curve shifts downwards from LM to LM1. This decrease allows for people to have a higher purchasing power, as I explained in the beginning, purchasing power, and the result, and this results in outputs increasing from Y to Y1. I'll explain this again. When there's a decrease in the interest rates, people are able to borrow more, and they're able to, with more money, they're able to purchase more, hence the increase in the level of outputs. I hope this video was very insightful and it helped you understand graphs more. If you still don't understand after this, please do consult with your tutors. We are more than welcome to explain and assist you where we can. Thank you so much for watching this video. Enjoy the rest of your day.